Hey guys, it's Rob here and welcome back to another video. In this video we do have some more Nintendo Switch 2 news to talk about, some pretty interesting things going on. If you guys end up enjoying this video, make sure you guys leave a like, it helps the video reach more viewers when you do, and of course subscribe for more. So the Nintendo Switch 2 has been in the news for a lot of different things, especially when it comes to prices of games. A lot of people are very angry when it comes to different prices when different games drop, like the Mario Galaxy games. People don't like that each one is $40 and of course $70 altogether. There are people who are upset with the price of the Nintendo Switch 2, rightfully so. Things do increase and people don't like paying more. I don't like paying more. And overall, it is just a sucky situation when it comes to actually buying the things you want to buy when it comes to Nintendo products. Nintendo amiibos are also very expensive. The price for the Kirby Air Riders amiibo is $50. So this leads people to wonder, well, when eventually are things going to get better? When are we going to see any price drops? Well, it seems that there are some pretty interesting things happening with the price of the Nintendo Switch 2. So right now there is a pretty interesting rumor going around. According to Nintendoros over on their website, they say, rumor, Nintendo Switch 2 will be priced lower starting October 14th. The interesting thing about this is right before Christmas, so that's a pretty interesting timing. They also say, for now, it has not been officially announced. So let's continue to read in this article and discuss it. It looks like an interesting rumor coming out of France. Nintendo has accustomed us to the best Nintendo Switch games and now also the Nintendo Switch 2, but we also have different news. It seems the successor console could be getting a price cut. The information is derived from a listing of Eclairic in France. Now the price was 449 euros, previously 449. The discount is 6% available from October 14th, 2025. Now they also revealed who actually made this information available. It says it's an offer revealed by Biblikun on Deal Labs. The most interesting thing is that the insider claims it's a permanent price drop, not a temporary promotion. He assures that there will be other bundles at the same price, such as a Switch 2 plus Mario Kart World. We'll have to stay tuned for more details. Now the interesting thing about this is that Nintendo is still increasing prices for different things across the board. Again, amiibos are very expensive. Of course, the Nintendo Switch 2 price is more expensive here in the United States than compared to Japan, I'm pretty sure. Correct me in the comment section if I'm wrong on that. And of course, other places it's more expensive too. So the interesting thing about this is that they're decreasing the price of the Nintendo Switch 2, and it does make you wonder, well, are things getting better? Does this mean that we're going to be seeing any more price decreases in any other places? Highly doubt it's going to be in America, but we'll see on that. And then of course you have to ask about like the games as well. A lot of people don't like the fact that some games are 70, 80, sometimes more depending on where you live. So it's going to be very interesting to see what Nintendo does. Is this just a wrong rumor? Again, it is a rumor according to the website. So this could 100% be fake. You never really know. But with that being said, what do you guys think about all of these prices down in the comment section below recently that Nintendo has been giving? Like the amiibos, of course there's Super Mario Galaxy 1+2, the Nintendo Switch, and overall just the situation surrounding the price. Are you not happy? Let me know your thoughts about that in the comment section below. And moving on to the next topic, we do have a new Nintendo Switch firmware update, if you guys were curious about that, of what it does. This is what Twisted Voxel has to say. Nintendo has released a system update version 20.5.0 for the Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2. As with many recent firmware updates, the patch focuses primarily on general system stability, improvements designed to enhance the user experience. At this time, no detailed changelog or additional features have been shared. The last notable system update, version 20.1.0 from May 2025, introduced visual changes to parental control, adjusted the Nintendo Switch launch sound, and included transfer support for Nintendo Switch 2. And as for the patch notes, they also have those there. They say version 20.5.0 released September 29th, 2025, general system stability improvements to enhance the user experience. So it's really much of a nothing burger, so if you ever see anybody covering that, it's really nothing. It's just kind of stability. Unless someone was having problems with their Nintendo Switch 2, maybe this did fix whatever small problems they were having with it. Let me know in the comment section below if you know any difference from it, like performance wise. Anyways, I feel like there is a lot that they can do with the Nintendo Switch 2 that would actually be pretty fun to talk about actually. the whole idea of what Nintendo can do to the Nintendo Switch 2. I know one thing that I would love for them to do, especially now that they have more power to play with, themes. I think themes would be a fantastic thing to add to the Nintendo Switch 2, especially since they have things like the startup sound. Maybe a theme can change the startup sound. That would be pretty cool. And then of course there are things like dynamic backgrounds or maybe cool animations. I feel like a lot of things are fantastic when you do have themes. It's just another small thing on top, you know what I mean? I remember back on the 3DS, all the themes that you had on there, those were fantastic. I always loved those kind of things, customizing your system to how you like it. Same thing with special editions or even cases. I like personalizing my technology, and one of the things that I love to do includes themes, and I hope eventually they do themes. Just a little theme rant for you guys since we're talking about Nintendo Switch updates anyways. And moving on to the next topic, we do have some more details on the Super Mario Galaxy plus Super Mario Galaxy 2 collection. There are some pretty interesting things when it comes to different emulations, different news pieces that are going around, how it's actually being played on the Nintendo Switch 2. We covered a little bit in the last video, but we have some more details on that, so we're going to cover that right now. So Universal Nintendo has this to say: Super Mario Galaxy and Super Mario Galaxy 2 have their first development data revealed, including codenames and more. The Super Mario Galaxy plus Super Mario Galaxy 2 collection is scheduled for release on October 2nd, 2025 on Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2, according to information shared by data miner Oatmeal Dome. Both titles use a technical approach called emulation plus native support, similar to what we've seen in Super Mario Galaxy with the 3D All-Stars collection. And I am going to get into why I kind of think this is kind of dumb that Nintendo did this. It kind of feels like they're being lazy with Super Mario Galaxy plus Super Mario Galaxy 2. But with that being said, let's finish this article and then we'll discuss it. According to Oatmeal Dome, the game code has been rebuilt to run natively on the Switch's processor, while graphics, audio, and other elements run under Nintendo's Wii's emulator, Hagi. The technique allows for greater compatibility and performance while maintaining the original essence of the game originally released on Nintendo Wii. Now, continuing to the other information like the code names, they say the project is internally codenamed Comet, with Galaxy 1 identified as Cosmos and Galaxy 2 as Cosmos 2. According to data miner Pikmin 1+2 on the Switch, also uses this hybrid emulation technique. Super Mario Galaxy and Super Mario Galaxy 2 also featured additional improvements to resolution, performance, and mouse mode support on Nintendo Switch 2. Now, we also did cover some news on that mouse mode support. That's only in the multiplayer mode, by the way, so if you're looking forward to using the mouse in single player mode, apparently that's just not available. Now, as to my thoughts on this is kind of weird. You know, I kind of feel like Nintendo's being lazy with this port. I mean, the fact that they barely did anything different from the 3D All-Stars is really, I don't want to say concerning, but it's kind of messed up, if you know what I mean. I feel like they could have did way more. Again, the same thing they could have done with Super Mario 64 and all of these ports. A lot of these ports seem to be kind of half-assed, if I'm being honest. Like, yeah, there is an upgrade, you could say, but it's not a huge upgrade, and the fact that they're charging $40 for each or $70 for the both is kind of dumb, in my opinion. I think that should be cheaper as well. Overall, though, does that mean the people who are buying this and playing this are in the wrong? No, if you want to buy it, you can buy it. And for people who do not want to buy it, just don't buy it. I think at the end of the day, fun is the end goal, right? We're just talking about games. I think there's a conversation to be had, like, if it's a game that you really want, are you willing to spend that extra money? Are you willing to pay extra money to play that, or are you just going to go and emulate that? A lot of people in the comment section have said, I'll just go emulate it, and there are upscalers on emulators too. You know, some people actually own the copies and they can play that through an emulator, so I think there's a whole bunch of options. Also, at the end of the day, I also think, you know, more options for these games to survive longer are always a positive, but again, I just don't agree with the price. But like I said in the other video, if this was, let's be honest, like Twilight Princess or The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, I would probably pay $40 for it. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I would 100% drop $40 on a Legend of Zelda Wind Waker and Twilight Princess and a $70 for a pack. I 100% would. I'm just not gonna lie to you guys. And I think that's where a lot of people kind of forget that if it's a game that you really want, you're gonna want to pay, but you're gonna pay extra money for it. Now, of course, there are some people who won't and are able to hold back and not buy it, but for people who really want to play these games, they'll spend extra money for it. That's just kind of what it is. Not only that, but you know, during the holidays, the parents who buy games for the kids, they're not gonna know, for the most part anyways. So I'm sure Nintendo's probably banking on that too. But yeah, those are just my overall thoughts on that. Let me know what you guys think about these topics down in the comment section below, and if you want the links to all the articles and stuff, those will also be in the description below. And I will see you guys in the next video. Take